Hi everyone, here in this recording I will talk about the for loop, while loop and input commands in MATLAB. So first I will start with the for loop. The for loop is let me just put the clear and the CLC. For loop works, say that you have a value of I is 1 or x is 1, you take the square of that value, which will be 1, and then you have the x is 2 and you take the square of that value, which is 4, and x is 3, you have the square of that value, which is 9. So in MATLAB you can go like x is 1 and then take square, x is 2 and then take square, x is 3 and then take square of it. So if you run it, you will have the 1, 2, 4, 9, all the values here. But in MATLAB, it only stores the most recent values. The most recent value for x was 3, and then it just stores the 3 of 3. So if I just go, for example, that 4 times x, it will be 12, because it stores MATLAB stores the most recent value. This one is a perfect example for a loop. So you can write a for loop now, and you can say that for x is 1 to 3, but increment of 1. So from 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3, it will go that way. So take the x square for me and then end. So it will just run a loop. When x is 1, take square and then come back 2, 3. So 3 times it will run the loop. So let me just erase this part and then run it again. So you can see that again it returns the 1, 4, 9. Again we have the latest x value. If I just 4 into x, it will be 12. This is how the for loop works, but you can do a better manipulation here. You can insert a vector of a, for example, or b, whatever. Then b of x will be x squared. So what it means is that when the code runs, it will first take x is 1. So it will be that b1 will be 1, and then b2 will be 4, and then b3 will be 9. So it will just store all the values here one by one, and then we will not store only the most recent one, we will store all the values. Let me just run it. So you can see the b vector here. So we have stored all the values. This is useful if you want to use this one as in the next steps of your code. That's how the for loop works. And then now comes the while loop. Let me add a section here. This one is for the while loop. So while loop works similar to for, and it runs up until some constraint. Okay, let me give you one example how it works. Say that you have and for this one, often initial value of the variable is required. So let me give you one example for the while loop. Say that the y is a 3, so you are trying to find the square of y values till 5. Okay, so what it will do is that it will find the first one, y square is 9, because it is less than 5, since y is less than 5, and then y square will be then 16, since y is less than 5, and then the last one will be y square 25. It will not work because the y is not less than 5. Okay, so we are trying to write a code that calculates the square of value till 5. We just start from the initial value as 3. So you just say that while y is less than 5, then y square and then end. So the loop will work this way. It will take the first value, which is 3. Since it is less than 5, it will check. So this part is the check. So it will check. If it is less than 5, run the code and then done. If it is not less than 5, and then here it will break, then the code will not run it. So let me just go. Okay, so I forgot one thing here is that we should increase the y value at every step. So y will be y plus 1. So it will run the code. Since y is less than 3, take the square, add 1 to y, it will be 4 now. Run the code again, less than 5, square it 16, add 1, run the code again. Since 5 is not less than 5, then stop the break. So let's do that. You see? So we have the 16, we have the 9. Again, it stores the most recent value of y, which is 5. Okay. And then before I forget, for section run, you just go with Alt Enter, or you can press this one, the run section. Okay, this is how the while loop works. Again, with similar to earlier one, we can enter a vector here. So you can say that I have let's say the c vector of y is y squared. So what it will do is that it will take the initial value of y, which is 3, c3 will be 9, and then add 1, 4, c4 is 16, and 5, c5 will not be there because this is not less than 5. So let's just run it, and then go here, then c. So you see 0, 0 because we don't have anything less than 3. So we have only c1, c2 is 0, c3 is 9, and the c4 is 16, and c5 will not run because it is not less than 5. Okay, this is how the while loop works. And then last thing here is that you can put the input command here. The input command works this way. So instead of defining the y value, for example, you can say that y is input, enter the y value. Okay, so when you do that, okay, let me just don't run it. So let me just one more time run it. Okay, so when you do that, you see the code does not start. It waits for you for the y value. Okay, so that I just enter, for example, 3, and then you see that it calculates one by one. Let me just add the semicolon here and one more time, and then I go with the 3. You see, let me add the clear CLC as well, and then I'll just go with the y value of 3, and then since my y value is 3, it just starts to run the code. So if I just click C, you can see 0, 0, 9, 16. So the code does not start as soon as unless you specify the initial y value. If you specify the initial y value, again at the semicolon here, if you specify the initial y value, it will run. So let me just go one more time, say that y is 5 now. So let's see what C. See, it doesn't run the code. So if I say that again, run the code, and then y is 4, you see, you can see that 0, 0 because I did not specify, it just puts 0 automatically, and then 16, and then done. So this is how the input command works. You just put the input, and then the code starts with the value that you have. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial for the MATLAB for and the while loops.